Hello there and welcome back to Terraformental. So let's do wake up and then go through this cycle, actually clicking on the right one for now. As you wiggling down the bottle of water, you consider your next move. If you don't mind the detour back to Lorien, it might be a good idea to check for more information on this ashtray facility near Santorini, the Strabo facility that was communicating with Santorini. If you can reach Santorini faster, you'll have more time to explore before it's destroyed again. Maybe you can even find a way to prevent it from happening. You could try to reach Ashtray, though it could be dangerous, with how little you know about it. Yeah, that's not a good idea. Let's do gather supplies first. Then load that up, full repair. I'm not gonna install it, I'm gonna install it on the other base and probably get a lot of the batteries and stuff and get the water supply running on the rover this time. Let's get the supplies for now, get all that done, and then fully repair the rover. You can also do this build solar panel mount. That should take the metal. Oh yeah, they changed it so you automatically gather the air tanks now. Forgot I changed that. There we go. Oh, we still have the 5 metal sheets that we can gather. Or not. Oh, we still needed this. Thought I already ordered that. Oh well. Yeah, I think it skipped it for some reason. Because I'm pretty sure that uses up the sheet metal. Or the metal sheets. You quickly cut the metal plates into lengths, weld them together and mount it on the rover, ready for solar panels to be attached. Let's get that. Oh, I need the power coupler. You know what? Yes. Remove that and then use that for the power coupler. I know there are different ways to get those as well. No. Stop doing that. Really? So you can't cancel that. It's already in use. Oh, that's shitty. I didn't even know you could place it back though. I clicked the wrong button. Now it's just gonna take longer. Remove. Yes. I was trying to do this one. There we go. Connect, collect, and then leave. Now let's see. Install the generator. No. No, I want to go to Lorien first. Get that generator running. And then once we're there, we get the probably the batteries from that cave, and then also get the what's it called? Yeah, recharge the rover. Get all the data from Lorien. So that helps. Oh yeah, and get the water purifier. Oh, there's a lot of options. Get a lost rover supplies, nope. Get supplies and install Gen in Lorien. Let's do that one first. Yeah, there's a lot of options now. Well, don't do that. I was trying to click that one and then it shifts. Install the solar panels. We have the mountains, I might as well use it. And this is still pretty slow because we're only done it once. That's built. You remove the solar panels and transfer them onto the rover's mount, holding them in place. After a quick clean, daisy chaining together and linking to the mount's coupler, they provide a steady trickle of power into your batteries, although half the rack is still empty. Yeah, we need 2 locations for these. Let's see, gather supplies first, then start the generator. Oh, that should have done all of them. Unlock admit door. Yeah, that's what we need. Bring it over inside. Or, oh wait a minute. Oh well, let's bring it inside for now. So we can get the water purifier thing. Load and install water recycler. That one. Load fuel. Search for S-Trape. According to the logs, S-Trape is essentially a huge power generator. During the terraforming process, it will be responsible for powering the mining and manufacturing operations at a relatively nearby Santorini facility, but that would only use up a fraction of its eventual intended output. The generator isn't scheduled to become fully operational until after terraforming was complete. But then, an entire city would have been constructed around it. The first one to be filled with colonies. Each of the other facilities will become the power plant for a smaller colony, but S-Trape will be the crown jewel of the planet. Unfortunately, the records seem to be heavily scrambled after that point. Judging by the timestamps, it happened shortly before the evacuees. turned up at Santorini. Whatever the cause, it was obviously dangerous and could still be happening. You should be cautious when you reach Estrade. Let's see, search for Strabo. Takes 2 minutes. Let's actually get all of our resources topped off. Also get more power. Yeah, this was not a run to get to Santorini, but to get all the information on the other locations. It looks like Strabo was one of the main workhorse facilities intended to be a large portion of the actual terraforming, located somewhere south of Telos. On the equator, it was perfect for utilizing concentrated solar power. Dozens of huge mirrors reflected light to a central tower, where it was converted into power and redistributed to larger versions of the support facilities, which most of the terraforming stations have been surrounded by. Unlike the other commanders, who evacuated to Lorien, the Strabo commander actually continued making logs after arriving here. Most of it is official minutiae or idle speculation on what's been happening, but the first log mentions that the final evacuation group left a cache of supplies on the route to Lorien. If it's still there, you might be able to find it. Interestingly, Lorien continued receiving regular updates of Strabo long after the evacuation, though they did fall off more recently. Thanks to its large number of more advanced support facilities, Strabo was able to gather highly accurate data on the atmosphere, weather patterns, and progress of the terraformation process. Unfortunately, Lorien only received summaries of the results of that data. Things like predictions of sandstorms, but maybe you can use that to narrow down where the actual facility might be. Luckily, since you have the combined logs from many different facilities available here, you're able to correlate the data which Strabo sent out to each of them, looking for patterns in what weather it could and couldn't predict. Eventually, you manage to extrapolate roughly where the facility is located. You should be able to drive to the search area from Telos, and hopefully you'll stumble across those facilities. Oh, the supplies they stash on the way. So halfway through we can find stuff. Let's take all of these. Leaving rover. Gather the lost rover supplies. How long does that take? I mostly just want the power cells, because that should extend our reach quite a bit. But we haven't done this that many times, so it is still slow as hell. Oh, I can't open that. Let's just gather this one. We're getting the power supplies, or the battery. We should wait until we're back before we actually use those. Oh, we're actually fully stocked up. I'm guessing we're back. Yeah, Park Rover and Lorien. Then we're gonna do, where is it? Install empty cells into the rover. Now we're actually inside, it's way faster. Oh wait, I forgot to connect the charger like an idiot. Might be useful. Because this actually takes a bit. Oh, we're almost at full power. We're actually at full power. Then we disconnect and leave. Yeah, we still have 200 power in the base, so we're pretty safe. Now let's go back to Talos. And let's see what happens if we go the opposite direction. And if we can actually make it. Like Santorini's too far now. Like we're way too late. Oh, it's exactly half now on the transport speeds with transport time. Lorien, Strabo. The part for Strabo takes about 30 seconds. So that's quick. Now let's see what happens. Oh yeah, Santorini gets destroyed. This should be the opposite direction. Or at least not in the immediately you get screwed over location. What's with this? Oh, we get dilated total, so it should be way faster. Why is this 19 minutes? I'm kind of getting the idea this is gonna be a pain in the ass. Yeah, the solar panels are nowhere near enough to keep up with it. Well, that's about 8 minutes. Our supplies probably won't. We do have the dilation, so that makes it a little bit faster. As you continue driving across the seemingly endless desert, you notice a gradual change, not in the landscape outside, but in the power flowing from the solar panels. Being close to the equator is increasing the amount of sunlight they're receiving, and it will only increase as you travel further. Oh, we get a massive boost. biggest thing is, can we actually make it? What I'm thinking is that we might need to go to Santorini really quickly, and then get a better engine, or a better, so we can move faster. It almost shocks you to realize something about the landscape actually has changed, just so subtly that you didn't immediately realize. Well, you've been driving over sand. Driving over sand the entire time. It used to be a thin layer of sand on a sturdy bed of rock, with plenty of pillars and formations reaching the surface. Now there's almost nothing but shifting sands for as far as you can see. You still pass the occasional stone ridge, but it's not uncommon for you to go a considerable distance without seeing one. The rover seems to be copying. Let's wait. Oh no, that's not wait. This one pause. Let's see. To be copying with it relatively well, but you remain wary of what unexpected dangers this deep desert may hold. Wow, I'm really messing up on the reading. I don't think I have enough to clear this, but let's actually read through this before I continue. A gentle beep from the rover's console alerts you of a new signal being picked up. It's being broadcast on the emergency communication channels, but all you can hear is static. You must be too far away, but the signal itself is strong and is barely off your current course. Is it just some old recording no one's shut off, or might there actually be someone there? It's too close to be Strabo itself, but maybe an outpost of some kind. Hopefully, the one where the commander left supplies in. With renewed purpose, you press on deeper into the desert. You're finally close enough to properly receive the transmission. It's from the Strabo commander, warning everyone who hears it that Talos has already been evacuated. So due to the current situation, they're heading straight to Lorien, and anyone who hears the message should join them there. Curiously, it sounds like he says something else, but the message is cut off. The rover says it's not being lost due to the distance, it's just incomplete. Maybe you can recover the rest of if you reach the source. Yeah, we're out of food supplies. There is no way we can actually make this. Because this is about like 9 minutes. Not exactly. Oh, we read something. Reaching the top of the next gently sloping dune finally gives you a distant view of the source of the broadcast. A small, squat building built on a slightly raised platform. To keep it clear of the ever-changing landscape, an oversized antenna extends from the roof. If you had to guess, this was likely one of the many weather monitoring outposts, which allowed Strabo to so accurately predict weather and track the terraformation process. It's tiny compared to the facilities you're used to, and definitely not intended for long-term habitation. But with it being on the route between Telos and Strabo, it seems plausible that supply cache the commander mentioned could have been left here. So that takes a minute. Now let's hope there's food in there. Oh, power's really low. I just realized. Oh, it's a times 3.10, not a 3.10 value. I have enough food for 1.5 minutes and we should be there in like 35, so let's hope there's food and it's not like heavily locked. And with that, approaching the outpost, you get a better look at the equipment on its roof. Most of it definitely used for gathering atmospheric data, with the rest of the space being taken up by large solar panels, sadly far too large to be of any use for on the rover. You pull up just outside the airlock. Let's see. No, we probably want to exit. Leave rover. Enter monitoring station. A monitoring outpost. Passing through the tiny airlock, you realize that the outpost is even more cramped than the outside would suggest. The walls are much thicker than you assumed, likely packed with the array of sensitive equipment used to monitor the atmosphere. As a result, the single room you find yourself in has little to hide. A computer terminal with several displays all but fills one wall, while the other two are occupied by a variety of cupboards and access panels. Despite the air initially reading as unbreathable, the structure quickly reacts to your presence by activating an air recycler, so it automatically activates it. We're gonna have like not even 20 seconds left after this. It's gonna be another race against the clock, isn't it? Well, at least that thing's charging. That's a lot of food. As expected, it doesn't take you long to briefly check the cupboards. Most are basic diagnostic or maintenance tools and components for the outpost monitoring systems, but one seems to have had its usual contents hastily stuffed into the others, or even just swept onto the floor. Inside are several crates. Most are empty, but one is mostly full of water bottles, and two more labeled food supplies are filled with a mixture of synthesized food, ration packs, and protein bars. Other than that, only the terminal is of any interest. Its default screen seems to be displaying a variety of complex atmospheric data, but you can see a flashing icon indicating the continuous broadcast. With a little luck, maybe we can retrieve the original message. Though it may also be useful to know what caused it to get corrupted in the first place. Now we get basic food first, then we get protein bar, then we get ration packs, then we get water bottles. Well, this place has enough power that we can't leech off of it. Let's check logs. Takes 30 seconds. It takes a while of sifting through the immense amount of log data before you find the culprit of the message's corruption. Just a couple of days after the message was recorded, the outpost was hit by a sandstorm. The dust-filled air blocked the sun from reaching the outpost solar panels. Since the storm hit just after sunrise, the batteries were already heavily drained. A few hours later, the unexpected shutdown corrupted all data in active memory at the time, including the broadcast message, and the storm was even severe enough to have slightly damaged the solar panels. You can't see any evidence of other shutdowns caused by the sandstorms, so they likely aren't too common. But the deeper into the desert you go, the greater the odds of you running into one. It may be prudent to check if any are in the area right now. Oh, let's do recover message. So if you leave at the wrong time, you get into the sandstorm. That's what I'm thinking. But once we actually figure out when that's happening, we can probably plan for it. Locating a backup of the original recording of the message is easy enough. And you're glad to see there was no encryption or protection spelled on it. Skipping past the part you've already heard, you listen attentively to the second half. Frustratingly, the commander doesn't go into any further detail of what the situation at Strabo actually is. He does mention the supplies he stashed in this outpost, including what he calls Pascal's rations, which are an invention of one of the scientists at this facility. The end of the message is a warning that he doesn't expect them to stay at Lorien for long, due to the number of facilities he's heard of having issues. He expects everyone will be running the eastern chain to Olympus, whatever that means. Let's check weather forecasts. For some reason, the outpost is incapable of connecting to the rest of the Strabo network. So instead of getting data from dozens of similar outposts scattered across the desert, all you have to work with is the data from this one. As it happens though, there's a storm already covering your intended path. If you have enough supplies, you may be better off waiting for it to pass. Oh, triggers in 46 seconds. That's fun. I don't think I have that much time. Return to the rover. Well, let's see what happens when you go into one of these disasters. Despite knowing there was a storm in the area, as you round the rock formation not far from the outpost, you're caught off guard by the intensity of the sandstorm which suddenly engulfs the rover. You can keep going, but you're having to push the motors harder than usual to counter the strong winds. The outposts from the solar panels have dropped to negligible levels, and it looks like they may be suffering damage from the beating they're taking. You're not sure how long you can last like this, but if you stop the rover, then the sand will rapidly build up around you, making it even harder to resume your journey. Oh, so we're in the sandstorm. Oh, there's also a find shelter. Oh, let's do find shelter. I might not be able to do that. Yeah, so we should have waited. So this is the sandstorm that's active. Let's wait. And now we're stuck. Finally, the storm begins to thin, and eventually your view clears entirely, leaving nothing but a dust cloud quickly receding into the distance. Now you just need to hop outside and try to dig out the rover out of the mini dune that's built up around it. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to do so. So that's why you don't want to go out. It's not too horrible. It takes a few seconds. Heaving one last pile of sand away from the rover's wheels, you're pretty confident it will be able to move now. My issue is going to be power. Like, I don't think without a second solar panel we can actually make this. Oh damn. Yeah, so it's damaged, so it will be even worse. As the last of your rover's power is drained, it rolls to a halt. Thankfully, with the solar panels you have installed on the roof, all you have to do is wait for a while for them to recharge the power cells. Hopefully your supply can last that long. I don't think I can, because this takes about 8 minutes. Somewhere. And we do not have the power generation to actually get through this, I'm pretty sure. It doesn't help that they're now damaged. But I do think this is the way to go. We just need a second solar panel. Or a better way to get through this, so we need to be faster. You spot another storm in the distance, rapidly heading your way. Do you keep going or do you find shelter? Let's try to do the shelter one this time. Because there's no way we can actually get through this. Yeah, another sandstorm is approaching. So this is going to be horrible. And I think I need to go and clear the other area first. Like, we should not be here. You'd have to notice a bit to counter the strong winds. You can only hope that you find some shelter before it gets much worse. Nope, we're out of power. And I don't think we're generating power. Nope. And we're stuck. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're dead. Also, it doesn't tell me how long it's gonna be. And we basically don't have any power. And now we're completely stuck. So we need to leave again. Take out the rover. Oh, it actually only takes 10 seconds to do the entire thing. Or half of the thing? Yeah, it looks like half. So it takes about 20 seconds. That really isn't too bad. Fill the water bottles, but we can't even get to safety without being completely screwed over. Yeah, trying to drive through this is also not really an option. I was kind of hoping trying to get to that cave though. Yeah, biggest issue is just power. And we get a pretty negative effect from the damage. Yeah, I think we just ended it and just go to the other station. We need way better motors and probably a second solar panel. So yeah, let's end the episode here. So thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next one.